Elimination is up for grabs here as we hit the nightcap of our quadruple header at the Southeast Regional Baseball Tournament in Columbus, Georgia. Stephen Williams here with you on Cougar Sports TV at Burger King Stadium at Ragsdale Field on the campus of Columbus State University. Elimination, the name of the game here in game number 8. It is four-seeded Tusculum, who we welcome back to the regional after 48 hours off, and also third-seeded Belmont Abbey College, who lost and fell into the losers bracket earlier today. The Crusaders will be the visiting team on the scoreboard. Tusculum will be home. Tusculum in orange tops, black sleeves, white pants. Belmont Abbey in the red jersey, gray pants, and red socks. Leading off for Belmont Abbey, the right fielder, number 15, Nick Beinlich. Lineups here. We get set for game number 8. Nick Beinlich will lead things off for Belmont Abbey. Caden Krause, Colin Rosenbaum will also be due up here in the first. Nick Nunziato, Thomas Yoder, and Lorenzo Wright at 4, 5, and 6. Kevin Elefante, the start after his good day in the opening game they played today in the 7th spot. Matt McGarry and Connor Qualwasser hit 8th and 9th in the Crusader order for head coach Chris Anderson as the first pitch is fired in for a ball at 9:07 Eastern time. So all of us in the pool of what time when the last game start, we all lose. Second pitch, that's in there for a strike. It is Placido Torres making his Southeast Region debut in 2016. The numbers for the senior left-hander, if you know baseball, they're okay. Torres throws the pitch. Beinlich fouls it straight back. And Torres ahead in the count 1-2. The numbers you would say are all right. 10 wins, no losses. .67 the ERA. That's not 6.7. That's .67. There's a 0 in front of that. 13 games started. He's completed 6 of them. 107 innings pitched. You can count the earned runs on your fingers. I hope. Pitch in there for a strike. That's punch out number 151 for Mr. Torres, the southpaw, the strikeout, and that's how this ball game begins. The designated hitter, number 13, Caden Krause. 151 strikeouts now for Torres to just 22 walks. And the left-hander readies and fires to Caden Krause. Torres, the senior for the Pioneers, is out of North Brunswick, New Jersey. Caden Krause, the batter here for Belmont Abbey, the 6'2" junior out of Charlotte, North Carolina. He's hitting .269, making his 49th start of the year. Tight breaking ball from Torres, spins in for a strike. Krause has 11 doubles, 4 triples, 4 home runs. One of those home runs here in this regional. Popped up on the infield. It's the first baseman settling under it, called for and caught by Wilkie for out number 2. The shortstop, number 10, Colin Rosenbaum. So 2 up and 2 down for the Pioneers. Colin Rosenbaum, the batter. Rosenbaum, the shortstop, leading hitter on the team at .387. Takes a fastball up high. Rosenbaum, so far in this regional, he was 1 for 5 in the victory over Catawba. That was our marathon game in which we're trying to avoid here tonight. Fastball in there for a strike, evens things up at 1-1. Rosenbaum was 0 for 4 earlier today with a couple of strikeouts in the loss to Lander. Tusculum played in the very first game that we had on Thursday. They have not played since. There's one of the benefits in this 7-team regional of being in that 4-5 game. If you happen to lose, it's not the worst draw that you could get, having to work your way back. That belongs to the teams that lost game 2 and 3. They had 1 extra to win. The 2-1 pitch, fastball at the knees, evens things up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. That was a 2-1 loss for Tusculum. USC Aiken getting 2 runs in the 6th, and that was all they needed. Catawba fell to Belmont Abbey. Belmont Abbey getting them on a walk-off in the 12th inning to finish off that 3-hour and 51-minute game that finished at 2:43 a.m. Friday morning. That was a 6-5 win for the Crusaders. They lost this morning in the winners bracket 11-4. I guess you could say this afternoon, actually. 11-4, though, they lost behind a powerful home run attack of the Lander offense. Line drive, that's through into right field for a base hit. Rosenbaum hits the full count offering into right. Belmont Abbey has its first base runner. It's a 2-out single.
The third baseman, Nick Nunziato.
That'll bring up Nick Nunziato. He got off to a rough start in this regional, but has hits in each of his last 2 at-bats. He was 0 for 4 against Catawba with 4 strikeouts. He then struck out in his first 2 at-bats against Lander today, so he was 0 for 6 with 6 Ks and a hit by pitch. Then he laid down a bunt single, and then he got another base hit later in the ball game to left field. So he's got a couple of hits now. He is their biggest power source, 18 home runs, 56 driven in for the 271 hitter. Stares at a breaking ball in there that puts him down in the count 0-2. Not a guy that you want to be sitting at, down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Rosenbaum, the runner, over at first after the 2-out single. Placido Torres trying to put a clean 0 on the board here in the first. And Nunziato will call time. And it is granted by our home plate umpire. Doug Jones at the helm of the Pioneer program. Chris Anderson on the opposite side. Rosenbaum on the move. It won't matter. Fastball thrown by Nunziato upstairs. Torres gets a couple of strikeouts, puts a 0 on the board, and sends us to the bottom of the first inning. Scoreless, game number 8 here at the Southeast Regional on Cougar Sports TV. J.J. Wesley leads things off in the bottom of the first inning for Tusculum. Wesley stares at a first pitch. It misses for a ball out of right-hander Matt Davenport's hands. Davenport Coxon fires. Fly ball into left center field, and that's going to get down for a base hit. Wesley with the knock. The senior out of Kansas City, Missouri, has Tusculum off to a good start in the bottom half of the first inning.
The left fielder, Dante Key.
So Wesley starts with a single. Dante Key, the batter. Matt Davenport, a senior, 6'4" right-hander out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Pitch is up in the air, foul territory. It may get towards the bullpen and give him a shot, but it'll go just over the second fence. Davenport, 5-3 on the year. This is his 11th start. 4.75 ERA for him. 47 1/3 innings pitched. 25 earned runs. 27 strikeouts and 20 walks, so he doesn't strike out a lot. Balls will be put in play. He has to have good defense behind him. Wesley being held on at first. The 0-1 pitch popped up out of play again. Tusculum lineup, it'll be J.J. Wesley, followed by Dante Key, Kevin Victoriano. Nick Lucina, the designated hitter, hits fourth. Creighton Wilkie, Zach Fincham, Jim Toll, John Topoleski, and Giovanni Tolentino. On the ground to first, fielded cleanly. They're going to try to tag out the lead runner. They're going to say they caught Wesley. Wesley spun his wheels a little bit and fell in the dirt. And it was Yoder who decided to try to tag him rather than just throwing the ball to the base. Made that more difficult than he needed to.
The right fielder, number 29, Kevin Victoriano.
Kevin Victoriano steps into the batter's box now. He goes after the first pitch and lines it into left field for a base hit. So that's a second base hit for Tusculum, and there's 2 on with 1 out.
The designated hitter, number 19, Nick Lucina.
Nick Lucina, the Pioneer designated hitter, digs in. Lucina, the junior out of St. Paul, Minnesota. Long way from home there in Greenville, Tennessee. Hits it off the cap of the bat, and it rolls foul. Belmont Abbey in a bit of trouble here early on. 2 on, only 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Elimination for the team that falls in this one. This one in the air to left center field. Lorenzo Wright drifts under it, and he'll have it for out number 2. Runners retreat, and 2 away.
The first baseman, number 17, Creighton Wilkie.
Let's set you defensively for Belmont Abbey. It's right and left. That's not confusing. Qualwasser in center. Beinlich is over in right. Nunziano plays third. The shortstop is Rosenbaum. McGarry plays second. Yoder at first. Elefante behind the plate, and it's Davenport on the mound. Creighton Wilkie, the hitter, starts to offer at the off-speed pitch. Chooses to hold off of it. Wilkie, a senior out of Lincoln, Nebraska, hitting .346. 63 hits, the most of anybody in the starting lineup. 11 doubles, 8 homers, 43 driven in. The right guy to have at the plate with 2 on and 2 out. Loops this one into shallow right, going back on as the second baseman, Gary. Beinlich calls him off from right, and that will get Davenport and the Crusaders out of the jam. 2 base hits in the inning. Nothing to show for it on the scoreboard, though, and we've played 1. Tusculum and Belmont Abbey scoreless here at the Southeast Regional on Cougar Sports TV. 5, 6, and 7 due up for Belmont Abbey here in the top of the second inning. Both teams go without a run in the first as Thomas Yoder pops the first pitch out of play. Yoder, Wright, and Elefante. The ones due up here in the top of the second against Placido Torres. Yoder, a .290 hitter, the sophomore out of Cary, North Carolina. Starts to offer at it. The appeal to first says he went around. And it's no balls and 2 strikes. You can tell Torres runs the ball up there pretty well. Sharp breaking ball to go with it. Yoder, 7 doubles, a triple, and 3 home runs. Yoder watches the fastball high. He was 1 for 3 with a walk and a run scored earlier today. And he was 1 for 4 with one of those 3 home runs in the ball game on Thursday night. The 1-2 pitch taken up high. Keep seeing periodic flashes coming out of the room of the Cunningham Center. That is the building out there beyond left center field. There's some kind of formal event going on out there on the patio balcony area, as that's a called strike 3. Torres gets the strikeout. That's his 3rd in the first 4 out he's recorded. And there's 1 away here in the second.
The left fielder, number 9, Lorenzo Wright.
So they had a wedding tonight in the Cunningham Center, so congratulations to those two. Ball rolled back through the middle. That'll be a base hit for Lorenzo Wright. That ball, 37 hopper right back through the middle, but it found the hole. And there's a runner on with only 1 out.
The catcher, number 33, Kevin Elefante.
Kevin Elefante will be the batter. He was responsible for all of the offense in the 11-4 loss earlier this afternoon. He was 2 for 4 in the ball game, drove in all 4 runs, including a 3-run double that came in the bottom of the 9th inning. First pitch he sees is a little bit inside. It's taken for a ball. Elefante, a junior out of Chapel Hill High School in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. He did not start the game against Catawba, but he was in the lineup for this one. Yoder was actually behind the plate in that ball game, and he's over at first now. So Chris Anderson staying with the hot hitter at the plate. These two seeing each other for the first time this season as the 1-0 pitch hits the mark. Torres pumps another strike in there. 2 hits per side here in the first inning and a half. Wright with the 1-out single is on over at first. Those people that attended the wedding are now getting one of the best seats in the ballpark out there just over the left center field wall. The 1-1 off the end of the bat, cued towards first, and the spin's going to keep that ball fair. Wilkie's going to pick it up and tag out the base runner for the 2nd out of the inning. That ball somehow stayed fair down that line with weird spin.
The second baseman, number 1, Matt McGarry.
So Belmont Abbey now puts a runner in scoring position, but 2 down in the inning. Matt McGarry, the batter. McGarry, the sophomore, went coast to coast, just about, all the way from San Diego, California. McGarry stands in at .296, 11 doubles, a triple, couple of home runs. Watches a first pitch strike. Tight slider falls in. McGarry 1 for 3 in the loss to Lander. Was 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts against Catawba. Torres sitting on 26 pitches so far. Davenport needed just 10 pitches in his half of the first, despite giving up a couple of hits. Tusculum was swinging early and often. 5 batters went to the plate, saw 10 pitches total. The 0-1 off the end of the bat, rolled foul. And it's 0-2. Torres did not throw in game number 1, which came as a surprise to a lot of people. Head coach Doug Jones talking after the game that he thought that his starting pitcher he had go in that one, Zach Slagle, was more than capable of beating USC Aiken, and to be honest, he pitched well enough to win that ball game. Fastball a little bit inside. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Slagle went 5 1/3 innings, gave up just 2 runs on 5 hits, and then Devin Watts came in behind him and went 2 2/3 scoreless. You give up 2 runs, you usually expect to win the baseball game. Joe Marlowe on the opposite side, though, was 1 run better. He scattered 11 hits over 9 innings, 119 pitches. 2 hopper to second. Fielded cleanly. They throw and they get McGarry. And that'll put an end to the Belmont Abbey second. Tusculum gives up another base hit, leaves it in scoring position, and after an inning and a half, we still search for our first run here at Burger King Stadium on Cougar Sports TV. Zach Fincham will lead things off here in the bottom of the second inning for Tusculum. He'll pop the first pitch into shallow right field. McGarry moving over will make the grab for out number 1.
The catcher, number 34, Jim Toll.
So 1 pitch, 1 out for Matt Davenport, who continues to get outs very quickly. That'll give Jim Toll a chance. As the first pitch he sees is taken up high for ball 1. Toll, the 6-foot, 205-pound senior catcher out of Palm Bay, Florida. Low and inside, it's 2 balls and no strikes. Toll went to the same junior college that his battery mate did in this ball game, Placido Torres. Kevin Victoriano also went to that same school as well. So Doug Jones used that school and got some very good players out of it. Giovanni Tolentino also came from there. So there is 4 of the starting 10 of this lineup that Doug Jones pulled from the same junior college, ASA College. It's a strong haul down there to Greenville, Tennessee. Fastball down low, 3 balls and a strike to Toll. Toll was 1 for 3 in the opener against USC Aiken. He drove in the only run the Pioneers have scored in this regional. Pitches down low once more, 5-pitch walk, and Tusculum, like Belmont Abbey in their half of the inning, has a 1-out base runner.
The third baseman, John Topoleski.
Toll reaches, and John Topoleski will bat. Topoleski was 1 for 3 as well. Tusculum did not have any problem getting hits in its first game. It was putting hits together and getting hits with runners on base. Topoleski, 5'11" junior out of Lawrenceville, Georgia, so just outside of Atlanta. He's not very far from home. That will be off into Cougar Court. Topoleski hitting .310, so a good batting average in the number 8 spot in the order. 7 doubles, a home run, 30 driven in as they'll check on Toll over there at first base. They better check on him. You look down at the numbers, he's perfect. He has tried to steal 1 base, and he stole that 1 base. Again, out of play right side, so no one, and I mean no one, has thrown him out yet. Something about catchers and perfection on the base paths. Decent lead at first, being held on by Yoder. 1-2 pitch coming from Davenport. Low and outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is our 4th game of this day. It's a day that has watched the number 1 seed play for the first time and play for the last time. The host school, Columbus State University, was toppled in game number 1 in extra innings 8-5 by USC Aiken. And just prior to this one, 7-2 and eliminated by Mount Olive as that ball's down the left field line. That's going to be on top of the batting cages. Topoleski will come back to home plate with a chance once more at 2-2. One down in the inning. Davenport comes to the plate, and that ball in the left-hand batter's box. The count will go full. See what Tusculum chooses to do. Runner on the move from first, a line drive, but it's in the wrong direction. Fouled straight back. Nice that the Oregon is stuck around for the night. Long day she put in. Runner on the move again, down the right field line, again fouled off, so good at bat here by Topoleski. And right on cue, the other section of the band. He stuck around as well. We don't pay them well, but they do a good job. See if Toll runs for a third time. He's off and running, and this time it is ball 4. I'm sure he is just as excited about that walk as Topoleski is, because he had run his 3rd wind sprint, and there's 2 on with 1 out.
The shortstop, number 8, Giovanni Tolentino.
Giovanni Tolentino Digs into the batter's box, the senior out of Deltona, Florida. Chops it right past his third base coach, who didn't flinch a muscle. Those guys are trained well. They move quickly when it's at them. They don't move when it's not. A lot of activity happening around this Burger King Stadium right now. We got the wedding and wedding reception that's going on out in the Cunningham Center balcony out behind left center field. We got a glow-in-the-dark 5K run that's happening down the right field side with some multicolored changing lights that are going on down there. And, of course, NCAA regional baseball action, the most exciting of all three of them, happening right in front of us right now. Runners at first and second for Tolentino, the 1-1 from Davenport. That one's right over the heart of the plate, a ball and 2 strikes. Tolentino hitting just .206. He does have 7 doubles, a triple, a home run, and 20 driven in. But when you play a premium defensive position as shortstop is, sometimes you can get away with not hitting quite as well. Reaches out and pokes it foul, especially when you have guys with good batting averages from top to bottom. You can afford to have one spot in your lineup that may not have quite the batting average. And you look up and down this Tusculum lineup, 320, 316, 315, 383, 346, 347. Enough good hitters in this lineup that you can trade a little defense for offense if you need. 1-2 on the ground to first. He goes with it. Yoder's going to try to go to second, and the shortstop couldn't make the grab. Rosenbaum, the throw was low. It got away from him. The slide kicked it into left field, and Toll is going to come across to score. Yoder gambled and tried to go get the runner at second. The throw was low, and Rosenbaum couldn't grab it.
The center fielder, J.J. Wesley.
So it's Tusculum that's on the board first. Rosenbaum had it in his glove for a moment, but he was toppling over that bag as he was trying to come through it for the double play. Once his glove hit the ground, the ball bounced out, and then the slide in of the bag of Topoleski kicked that ball into shallow left field. That allowed Toll to come around from third and score as the first pitch to J.J. Wesley is taken for a ball. So it's a fielder's choice and an error on the play. It puts runners at first and second again, still with one out, but a 1-0 ball game in favor of Tusculum. Wesley lays down a good bunt down to third. Barehanded play, the throw not in time. Nunziato did everything he absolutely could. He barehanded it, threw it on the run, and threw the ball on the money. But Wesley laid it right down the stripe and was too fast and beat it out, and the bases are loaded.
The left fielder, Dante Key.
So you've got a pioneer at every base. Wesley, Tolentino, Topoleski first to third, and Dante Key at the plate. The junior out of East Hampton, New Jersey. First pitch to the left-hander is in for a strike. Key is hitting .316. He's 0 for 1, though, in this ball game so far. He has 6 doubles, 7 triples. You don't usually see that ratio flipped around. Got in on his hands, tied him up, and he fouled it into the screen. He also has 3 home runs, and he's driven in 23. He's got a big-time opportunity here with only 1 away in this second inning. Yoder, the first baseman, is playing in front of the runner. Nunziato, the third baseman, is playing about even with the baseline. That ball just fouled off. That was in the dirt, and Key barely got a bat on it. popped up on the infield. Umpire's hand goes up into the air. It's an infield fly, and the second out of the inning.
The right fielder, Kevin Victoriano.
Kevin Victoriano now will try to pick up a teammate. Victoriano up there with the bases loaded and 2 outs here in a 1-0 ball game. Davenport trying to wiggle off the hook. Again, Tusculum with the bases loaded, but needing to deliver here. 1 run already in, the 1-0 pitch. Chop towards third, but that's going to be foul. Evens things up, 1 ball and 1 strike. Davenport has watched his pitch count boost a long way after throwing just 10 pitches in the first inning. Closing in on 40 now. This has been a long inning for him out there on the rubber. Outfield shading Victoriano slightly towards left. Qualwasser near the gap. As that pitch dropped on the outside corner, that was a good location. 1-2. The 1-2. Down low, 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. Back through the middle. Will it get through? It will. 1 run in. Here comes the second. The throw goes to third. It's not in time. 2 runs in, and the runner will advance up to second. It is 3-0 Tusculum. Kevin Victoriano delivers a 2-run single. And the Pioneers do cash in. So Victoriano picks up his teammate. And the Pioneers hang a crooked number on the board.
The designated hitter, Nick Lucina.
The runners are on second and third as Victoriano scooted up on the throw to third base. J.J. Wesley is on at third, and now it's Nick Lucina, who can really blow the ball game open with a base hit here. Pitch hits the outside corner. Lucina lets it go by for a strike. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Tusculum has 4 hits. J.J. Wesley has 2. Victoriano has 2. But Davenport walked a couple of hitters in this inning, both of which have scored. Lucina drops this one into right center field. That's a base hit. Here come 2 more runs, and it is going to be another 2-run single. It is a 5-0 ball game.
The first baseman, Creighton Wilkie.
So back-to-back 2-run singles. 1 from Victoriano, 1 from Lucina. And it is 5-0 Pioneers. There is a player mulling around in the first base bullpen, but they are not actively really trying to get him going. Chris Anderson letting it all hang out here. And now they'll start to make some movement towards that bullpen now. First one to Wilkie, snared at first base by Yoder. He hit that ball on the nose, and Yoder in the right spot caught the line drive backhanded to put an end to the inning. But Tusculum gets 5 on the board in the second. They lead this one 5-0 after 2 here on Cougar Sports TV. Connor Qualwasser at the plate to lead off the Belmont Abbey half of the third. The Crusaders need a bit of an answer now after Tusculum puts 5 on the board in the bottom of the second inning. Ground ball in the hole at short. Fielded on the backhand. Looked like it was in the palm. Long throw. Wilkie did not hold the bag, though. Qualwasser is going to get there. It's going to be an infield single. The throw was right there. And it was an outstanding play by Tolentino, but Wilkie couldn't hold the bag.
The right fielder, Nick Beinlich.
Lineup card flips over, and Nick Beinlich now steps in the batter's box. That 5 on the scoreboard has to look like a ton if you're Belmont Abbey, knowing this pitcher has given up 8 earned runs all year. Fastball is up high to Beinlich to start things off here in the third. That pitch is in the strike zone, evens things up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Beinlich went down on strikes his first time. Torres struck out 3 the first time through the order. He also gave up 3 hits. Opponents are hitting just 149 against him, so 3 for 9 the first time through. That's not bad for the Crusaders. Fastball up high, 2 balls and a strike. 5 runs on 5 hits for the Pioneers. The problem that really got that whole inning started, though, in the wrong fashion for Belmont Abbey was the fact that Davenport walked a pair of hitters. He walked Toll, he walked Topoleski, both of which scored. Then they committed an error on Tolentino's ground ball. That was 3 straight hitters that reached without the benefit of a hit. And it turned out that all 5 runs in the inning for Davenport went unearned. Three balls and a strike to Beinlich. On the ground, up the middle, diving stop made. The flip to second is in time. So 1 strong defensive play that doesn't get the out call. There's one that does. Nicely done by Fincham and Tolentino to connect on the fielder's choice for out number 1.
The designated hitter, Caden Kraus.
Caden Kraus, the batter now. Kraus, 0 for 1 so far. Beinlich now the base runner over at first. He has 14 stolen bases on the season. He's been caught 6 times. There's a fastball pumped over the heart of the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, 5-0 the score for Tusculum with the All-Southeast Region Pitcher of the Year going on the mound. It's a comforting feeling. Check of the runner over at first, and Beinlich able to dive back in ahead of it. Left-hander up and throwing in the bullpen for Belmont Abbey. You expected they would get some work going rather quickly. Sharp breaker goes to third. They'll go to second for 1. Around the horn is not going to be in time. Kraus runs too well. But again, Topoleski starts at this time. They retire the runner at second base on the fielder's choice, and there's 2 down.
The shortstop, Colin Rosenbaum.
The lefty in the bullpen for Belmont Abbey, in case you're wondering, Brady Hill. Fastball in for a strike. Rosenbaum, he owns a base hit in this ball game. He rolled one through the right side his first time up. Belmont Abbey with 3 hits, Tusculum with 5. Again, a step off and a throw to first. This time they check on Kraus. He's only run 9 times this season. He's been successful in 7 of those. Slider hits the outside corner. Good crowd on hand tonight on what is really a pleasant evening here in Columbus. Good contingency in orange to our left. And a lot of red to our right. Also some Lander blue mixed in. As some of these teams that are still here stick around and taking in all the action. Runner on the move on the 1-2 pitch. The pitch was a ball. The throw is not in time. Tolentino came over and tried to make a catch and tag while sliding as he got a late break to the bag. It's the 8th stolen base of the year for Kraus. And it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count for Rosenbaum. 5 teams remain in this Southeast Regional. There will only be 4 when the night is done. Catawba was the first to go home, Columbus State the second. One of these 2 will be number 3. Lander and USC Aiken waiting in the winner's bracket final. That game comes your way at 12 noon tomorrow as that fastball is inside and the count goes full. The winner of this one will meet Mount Olive. The Trojans eliminated top-seeded Columbus State just prior to this. That game will be played at 3:30. Then the winner of that game will meet the loser of Lander and USC Aiken. That is scheduled for 7 o'clock. After tomorrow, we will be down to our championship matchup. 3-2 pitch called, strike 3. Rosenbaum knew it. He's headed back to the dugout. Torres has his 4th strikeout of the night and his 3rd shutout inning. 5-0 the score. Tusculum on top, 2.5 complete here at Burger King Stadium at the 2016 NCAA Southeast Regional on Cougar Sports TV. Bottom of the third inning. Tusculum coming to the plate with a 5-run lead. Zach Fincham leads things off. Takes the pitch out of the zone. Davenport continues for now. The left-hander Hill keeps throwing in the Belmont Abbey bullpen. Elimination game, you play things a little bit closer to the vest. As this ball is hit towards right center field. Moving over quickly, Beinlich makes a good running grab for the first out of the inning.
The catcher, Jim Toll.
Jim Toll now, the senior out of Palm Bay, Florida. Check swing by Toll, goes too far around. He drew a walk his first time up. Came around to score a run. He was the first run of 5 the Pioneers put on the board in the second inning. That one tipped right off at home plate. This ball hit a long way to right field. Toll hit that one over the wall. Beinlich runs out of room. Jim Toll with the home run, just his second of the season. And he has them dancing in the walkway down here in the front row. And that's going to draw Chris Anderson out of the Belmont Abbey dugout, and he is going to make a pitching change. The night done for Matt Davenport. Jim Toll knocks him out of the ball game with his second home run of the season, a solo blast, and a new pitcher coming in for the Crusaders here on Cougar Sports TV. A solo home run from Jim Toll, the final blow for Matt Davenport, who leaves after 2 1/3 innings. He gives up 6 runs on 6 hits, only one of which was earned, as Brady Hill comes into the ball game, and he's going to give up a bunt base hit. Second bunt single, perfect down that third base line for the Pioneers, this time by Topoleski, and a base hit. So Topoleski reaches with the bunt single. Tolentino the batter now. Brady Hill, the new pitcher, the sophomore out of Winterville, North Carolina. He's already thrown in this regional as this ball is looped into right field. Shallow, if it's fair, it's trouble, and it is just on the wrong side of the paint for Tusculum. Brady threw in the either through late Thursday night or early Friday morning. He threw 2/3 of an inning, 2 runs on 3 hits in the game against Catawba. I'm going to venture and say it was probably Friday morning when he threw, considering we started that game at 10:52 and he threw in the 6th. We were probably well into Friday. It's a race against time right now to see if we get to Sunday or not. Hour and 55 minutes away. No balls and 2 strikes to count to Tolentino. He grounded into a fielder's choice this last time. The attempt to get the middle of the 2 runners, or the middle of the 3 runners on the bases, though, was thrown away. And on the play, Toll actually came around from second to score. The 0-2 out of play, doing a nice job. 6 runs on 7 hits for the Pioneers. And Doug Jones has to be loving where his team is sitting right now. Mount Olive tomorrow afternoon at 3:30. Again, Tusculum, because of the oddities of this 7-team bracket, this is just the second ball game that they have played. Belmont Abbey is already playing their 3rd, and Belmont Abbey actually won a ball game. This 7-team regional, it's new, the NCAA and its committee changing things up. It used to be a bunch of 16 regionals, 8 of them to be exact, and now they've mixed it up. There's some 6-teamers, some 7-teamers, and 8 as well, as this ball sits straight up in the center field. No problem for a ball watcher.
The center fielder, J.J. Wesley.
This one of the regions that was moved up to 7 teams from 6, which is better from an at-large and competitive standpoint because you get one more quality team into this field. And this season, you look at it, and the team that got in because of the extra spot is Tusculum. As the 5 seed, the 6 and the 7 were the automatics, so you weren't going to bump them out of it. Wesley pops it up into shallow right. The second baseman, McGarry, calls everyone off, makes the grab, and puts an end to the inning. So Hill comes on, does a nice job, limits the damage, but a solo home run by Jim Toll extends the lead out to 6. It's 6-0 Pioneers here at the NCAA Southeast Regional. Nick Nunziato to lead things off here in the top of the fourth inning for Belmont Abbey. The junior out of South Setauket, New York. Takes the first pitch from Placido Torres, low and inside for a ball. Torres now has a 6-run cushion to pitch with. He's given up 3 hits in 3 innings with 4 strikeouts as that fastball hits the outside corner. The numbers for Torres do seem almost video game-like, but he's doing it against a good competitive South Atlantic Conference schedule year in and year out. South Atlantic Conference got a couple of teams in, Tusculum along with the tournament champion Catawba, as Nunziato hits it high down the right field line. That'll scatter the folks in the bullpen down there. It's going to drop on top of, I think it hit the top row of that bench that all the guys are sitting on. It sent them scattering. And it was a long run for Victoriano. I don't think he would have caught it had the bench not been there, but it would have been close. Last thing you want to see him do, especially at 6-0, is go running face first into that bench. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Nunziato. Down on strikes for the second time. Five strikeouts now for the southpaw.
The first baseman, number 20, Thomas Yoder.
Thomas Yoder now. He is 0 for 1 with a strikeout as that ball went all the way through the legs of Toll. Hit off the leg protected by the shin guard of our home plate umpire. Your umpires for this one, Rick Elrod's behind the plate, Brad Newton at first, Kyle Cothran out at second, and Bobby Dunnigan working in the bag over at third. It's high and away. 3 balls and no strikes. Torres has not walked in this ball game, but he's a pitch away from doing it to Yoder. The 3-0 pitch, right over the heart. 3-1. That one is high, and Torres does have a walk. 23rd walk of the season for Torres. Yoder heads down to first base, and with 1 away, it'll be Lorenzo Wright.
The left fielder, Lorenzo Wright.
Lorenzo Wright, the senior out of Ladson, South Carolina. Stares at a first pitch slider that falls into the zone for strike 1. Doug Jones in his 19th season at the helm. There at Tusculum College in Greenville, Tennessee. Ball in the dirt. It's going to allow the base runner to scoot up as Toll nearly threw that ball into center field. They're going to say he did not go around on the check swing. On the opposite side, it's been talked about at length in this tournament. Chris Anderson, the head coach at Belmont Abbey, former assistant at Lander University, he faced off against the Bearcats earlier this afternoon. Kermit Smith, former Belmont Abbey head coach, got the better of him, 11-4. Or you should say the Lander Bats got the better of him. Bearcats put on a power display here earlier. We will tell you the official distance on Colby Lusignan's shot when it finally comes down. Pitch in there for a strike to Lorenzo Wright. That's 2 balls and 2 strikes, and that home run, by the way, that was a grand slam. So he didn't pick a bad time to hit one to the moon. The 2-2. Stayed on that breaking ball well, but he was a little behind it and fouled it off. Most of the clapping to that came from those clad in orange. They are very happy and they're very aware of it. Called strike 3, Torres with another strikeout. Ring him up. That's his 6th, and there's 2 down.
The catcher, Kevin Elefante.
Torres airing it out right now. The only problem for him is the pitch count starting to rise up. 62 pitches already for him, and he still needs another out here in the 4th. Yoder, the runner at second. He will draw the attention of Torres enough to make him step off. Fastball below the knees. Taken for ball 1. Elefante 0 for 1 in the ball game. Three hits for Belmont Abbey so far. They've got a chance with a hit here maybe to finally scratch a run across. That caught the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. 6-0 our score if you're just joining us. 5 runs in the second for Tusculum, including back-to-back 2-run singles. One by Victoriano, and one by Lucina. 1-1, that's sharp, and that's into the middle of the plate. 1-2. They added a run in the 3rd as Jim Toll hit his 2nd home run of the year. One-two pitch over our right shoulders. Out of play. Torres comes set. Tolentino dances behind Yoder at second. This ball's hit towards the shortstop. It's going to be cut off, though, by Topolewski. He makes a strong throw, and that will strand a Belmont Abbey runner in scoring position. Torres has 4 shutout innings, 3.5 gone by, 6-0 Tusculum on top. Tusculum to the plate, trying to tack on a little bit more. They already lead by 6, but every coach will tell you they'd like more. Dante Key and the 2-3-4 in the order coming to the plate here in the bottom of the 4th inning as Key comes up empty on a big first cut. Brady Hill, the pitcher still for Belmont Abbey after he came on and got the final 2 outs of the 3rd inning. Tries to spin a breaking ball to the inside corner, but left it too far in. Key is 0 for 2 in the ball game. Tusculum has 7 hits as a team and 6 runs. That one fouled away, caught somebody's foot. Neither one of them really reacted, though, so it must not have been squarely. Again, the winner gets Mount Olive, 3:30 tomorrow, right here at Burger King Stadium and streaming live online right here at Cougar Sports TV. Went after a ball that was almost about to hit him, chopped it right off the lip in front of home plate, and Brady Hill just made a very nice play off the mound. Came to get that ball from right out in front of the home plate dirt off the high bounce, spun around as the left-handed pitcher and threw him out.
The right fielder, Kevin Victoriano.
Kevin Victoriano, who had the first big hit, the first of 2 for Tusculum back in the 2nd inning. The first run scored on an error. The next 2 runs scored on one swing of the bat by this guy. He singled back through the middle. A ground ball that the shortstop Rosenbaum trying to get on a dive and couldn't knock it down. It got into center field. 2 runs scored, and then Nick Lucina, who is on deck, followed with a 2-run single to right center field to make this a 5-0 ball game. It's been since now 6-0. Belmont Abbey thought, or rather Tusculum thought, the pitch missed. The 2-1 pitch. That one's in the zone for a strike. Belmont Abbey thought the pitch before that was as well. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Straight back into the new padding here at Burger King Stadium. Hill winds the 2-2. High and outside. The payoff pitch. High and wide again, 2 straight.
The designated hitter, Nick Lucina.
Nick Lucina, the batter, after the walk to Victoriano. First pitch from Hill, lefty on lefty is up high. It's taken for a ball. Lucina had the second of those two-run singles. Tusculum trying to do to Belmont Abbey what Mount Olive did to Columbus State in the game before this, and that is ride the momentum of a big early inning and use that the rest of the way as Lucina hits a towering shot to right field. Beinlich to the wall, and that ball stayed in the ballpark. Off the bat, that ball looked like it had the net written all over it, if not more. That ball just died as it got high up into the night sky. Instead, it'll go for a double.
The first baseman, Creighton Wilkie.
Chris Anderson coming out of the Belmont Abbey dugout. There is a really big net out there in right field and center field. And at this time of day, it's tough to tell if balls skim that net or not. The net is really only about a foot or two behind the wall, and it is held pretty taut. So the ball springs back off of it. And the angle that that was coming down at, you could easily see that that ball potentially could have grazed the net and come back, but it seemed like it came down on the track somehow. Beinlich got back there and had a good look at it. The ball landed, and it turned into a double for Lucina. It's his second hit of the night, and he's on second. Victoriano is standing on third, and Creighton Wilkie is the batter. They stay with Brady Hill. Another lefty on lefty here, and that ball's going to hit between the 1 and the 7. On the back of Creighton Wilkie, and the bases are loaded.
The second baseman, Zach Fincham.
And that is going to be the end of the line for Brady Hill. Chris Anderson back out. He's made the call to the bullpen. 6-0 ball game. Bases loaded for Tusculum here in the bottom of the fourth. It is 6-0 as the new pitcher comes into the ball game. The new right-hander is Kyle Halbone, the 6'8 senior from Pawleys Island, South Carolina, the transfer from Kansas State University. We've already seen him once in this regional tournament. That was back in the marathon on Thursday night. He threw the final 5 innings He threw 60 pitches that night and comes in and gets Zach Fincham to pop up the first pitch. It'll be an infield fly, and McGarry has it. 1 pitch, 1 out, and Halbone continues to do good work.
Jim Toll.
Picked up his 6th victory of the season. He faced 1 batter above the minimum in 5 innings of work. He faced 16 batters. He struck 9 of them out. And only 60 pitches. So with the season on the line, they bring him back in, slam the door shut right at 6-0. And hope that the offense can find a way to scratch across. Last time he was at the plate, he deposited 1 over the right field wall. He's up there now with a teammate at every base, and he shoots 1 to left field. Lorenzo right in his tracks. And Kyle Halbone comes out of the job again. High five from the right-hander. The dugout. 4 in the books. 6-0, Tusculum still in front. Matt McGarry leads things off at the top of the 5th inning. First pitch he sees is rolled to third to Hopper. Topoleski bobbles, collects himself, and throws out McGarry.
The center fielder, Connor Qualwasser.
Connor Qualwasser. He will dig into the plate. Torres could use a few 1-pitch outs. Torres about to fire his 70th pitch. That's really the only thing that has not been perfect about his outing so far. That ball sprayed foul. Look out over in the rec center. Nobody in there, though. It's closed right now. The lights are on, though. The 1-1. Hits the outside corner. A ball and 2 strikes. Qualwasser got a hit his last time up. He rolled 1 deep in the hole at short. Tolentino made a great play on it. But his throw pulled Creighton Wilkie off the bag just slightly. It went for an infield single. 1-2 pitch. Chopped out down the third base line, and Jim Toll bounces up out of that crouch. Touches it foul. Nick Beinlich will be a good teammate. He'll go pick up the bat for Mr. Qualwasser. Qualwasser out of Highland Mills, New York. There are several players that hail from the state of New York in this ball game. Torres works out of the windup, third base side of the rubber, and leaves the fastball outside. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two-two pitch. Slider stayed just outside, trying to go backdoor with it. Still just 3 hits for the Crusaders, as Torres has kept the bats at bay. The 3-2 out of play. Looped behind first. Wilkie on the move, not going to get to it. Qualwasser has himself a 2-for-2 night. Hasn't hit the ball particularly hard either time, but he's found 2 good spots for the baseball. And he has 2 of the 4 hits for Belmont Abbey.
The right fielder, Nick Beinlich.
Nick Beinlich up now. 1 on and 1 out. Beinlich looked like he might have had a base hit his last time up as he hit a ball on the ground back through the middle. Fincham, the second baseman, made a good play, and he's going to try to make another one here. Field steps on the bag himself, and he does make another good one. 4-3 goes the double play. Beinlich slams the helmet down in frustration down the right field line, and the double play gets Tusculum out of the inning once more. 5 shutout for the left-hander, and we are halfway home here in the finale of our 4-game day in Columbus, Georgia. 6-0 the score here on Cougar Sports TV. John Topoleski will lead things off here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Kyle Halbone still out there. Topoleski goes after the first one, and there is a forward dive from the shortstop. You don't see that very often. but he makes the grab on the sinking liner for out number 1.
The shortstop, Giovanni Tolentino.
Tolentino, the batter now. Halbone has come in, retired all 3 hitters he's faced as they're trying to swing early and often against him. He's gotten 3 outs on 4 pitches. Halbone winds the 1-1. Sinks outside. 2 balls and a strike. The 2-1 on the ground to short. Fielded by Rosenbaum. The throw to first, and Halbone continues to get hitters out. So in this tournament now, he's retired 19 of the 20 batters he's faced.
The center fielder, J.J. Wesley.
Top of the order now in J.J. Wesley. Halbone, the tall 6'8" right-hander. Imposing figure out there on the mound. Standing over 7 feet tall. Pumps in another strike. Wesley is 2 for 3. One of those, an absolutely perfect bunt single. Fastball fouled over into the netting on the first base side. No balls and 2 strikes. That'll be out of play, right side. Oh, 2 pitch is down in the dirt. Elefante set up well off the plate that time. Just trying to stay out of the strike zone for a pinch. We'll see what Halbone comes with here on the 1-2. Swing, and it was not fouled off. That's going to get all the way to the backstop, and that's how the first base runner is going to reach against Halbone coming out of the bullpen.
The left fielder, Dante Key.
Strikeout and a wild pitch keeps the inning going for Tusculum. Dante Key, the batter, he's saddled with an 0 for 3 night so far. Wesley's going to run, and this ball's headed for the gap. It's going to get down, and it's going to roll to the warning track. Wesley is streaking for the plate. There will be no throw, and the strikeout wild pitch comes back to hurt the Crusaders. It is 7-0 Tusculum.
The right fielder, Kevin Victoriano.
Kevin Victoriano, the batter. He is perfect at the plate tonight. He is 2 for 2. Couple of runs driven in, a run scored, and he's also walked. The senior out of the Bronx. Popped up over the seats. Three more games in this Southeast Regional tomorrow. 12 o'clock, it'll be Lander and USC Aiken. The winner will be in the driver's seat for a spot in the World Series. 3:30, it'll be Mount Olive against the winner of this one. And at 7 o'clock, an elimination game featuring the loser of our first game tomorrow and the winner of our second. The 0-1 to Victoriano in there for a strike, 0-2. Time called. Victoriano asked for it and received it after Halbone was taking too long for his liking. Key after the RBI double, standing out at second base. This ball hit in the air to center field. Qualwasser has it measured, though. He'll make the grab and put an end to the inning. So a wild pitch on a strikeout comes back to add another run for Tusculum after a double by Dante Key. It is 7-0. Tusculum up a touchdown after 5 here on Cougar Sports TV. Two, 3, and 4 due up for the Crusaders against Placido Torres here in the top of the 6th inning. At some point here in the very near future, Belmont Abbey is going to need to get things rolling offensively. They're down 7. Season is on the line. And oh, by the way, the guy on the mound's pretty good. Caden Kraus leading things off. He's 0 for 2. Just 4 hits so far in 5 shutout innings. The 2-1. Outside, 3 balls and a strike. Torres across the 80 pitch mark now. And the 3-1 is high. That's the second walk on the evening for the senior left-hander, and a leadoff base runner for the Crusaders.
The shortstop, Colin Rosenbaum.
At this point, though, you would imagine Doug Jones will let his left-hander air it out. It's too late in the weekend for him to be able to come back for anything on Sunday or Monday, especially when he's already gotten to this pitch count. We've watched Carl Lancaster and Mount Olive let his 2 pitchers the last 2 days really air it out. 147 last night for Austin Hutchison, and Brighton Hudson threw over 150 tonight. Carl Lancaster said in postgame that he went out there in the 9th inning against Columbus State to visit with Hudson when Columbus State started to get a couple of runners on, and his plan was to go out there and take him out of the ball game. He got out there, and his 4 infielders told him, "Don't you dare." Said, "We're letting this guy finish things for us," and so he let him go. One to Colin Rosenbaum, sprayed foul. He did say he was worried about the fact that if he hung one pitch, all of a sudden it would have been a 7-6 ball game because the bases were loaded when he did record the final out. It was a 5-run game, so one swing could not have tied it, but it would have made things quite interesting. But Hudson did stay in. He got the last batter to pop up, and he went the distance. And so now Mount Olive, despite the fact that they had to go to the loser's bracket right away, they've gotten back-to-back complete games. That'll help the bullpen. On the ground to third, Topoleski goes to second for one. Fincham's turn, not in time. Looked like the right call from our vantage point, a lot further away than where he's looking at it. But a fielder's choice and one away.
The third baseman, Nick Nunziato.
Nick Nunziato to the plate now. Rosenbaum trades places with Kraus. He's on at first. And Nunziato, big cut, big miss. He is 0 for 2 tonight with 2 of the 6 strikeouts that Torres has. Check on the runner. He's back in. Rosenbaum just 5 stolen bases on the season. There are 4 guys in this Belmont Abbey starting lineup that have stolen double-digit bases. There are none in Tusculum. Threw another fastball by him. That has been the weak link in Nunziato's game this week. He does have 68 strikeouts on the season. He came here with just 60. Actually, add 2 to those numbers. So he has 70 now. He came here with 62. Fastball high. And Toll faked the throw, but threw the mask. That's one way to do it. Torres set. One away here in the top of the 6th inning. This one popped up straight away center field. Coming in, getting under it, is J.J. Wesley, and he'll make the grab. So Nunziato put it in play, but he's out on the fly out.
The first baseman, Thomas Yoder.
Thomas Yoder takes the breaking ball. Up in the zone, but a strike nonetheless. Wilkie holding the runner on at first. A look over there. The fastball, that is over the outside half. That was a BB to the plate for a strike. It's 0-2. That one fisted out of play, the first base side. Torres sends the 0-2 to Yoder. Swing and a miss. He threw the fastball upstairs by him. Strikeout number 7 for Torres, who has 6 shutout under his belt tonight. That microscopic ERA going down even smaller. 5.5 gone by. Tusculum needs 9 more outs to keep the season going. They lead at 7-0 here at the NCAA Southeast Regional. Stadium in Columbus, Georgia. Under the lights as we close in on the 11 o'clock hour. Belmont Abbey has been involved in both of the late night ball games here in this Southeast Regional. Kyle Halbone still on the mound. Nick Lacina, the batter. He swings through the 1-0 pitch, evens things up at 1 ball. No runs, 4 hits, 1 error for Belmont Abbey. 7 runs, 9 hits, no errors so far for Tusculum. Lacina at the plate is 2 for 3. 2 RBIs, both of those coming on a single in the second inning. Fastball thrown right by him. He's trying to go upstairs, and you can't catch up to that one. 1-2. Pitch looked pretty good from up here. Elefante got up as if he was going to throw the baseball around the diamond. Had to recoil a little bit. Two balls and 2 strikes to the Tusculum cleanup hitter. That one is there, though, so Halbone backed it up with one that was even better. Called strike 3. Halbone strikes out his second batter of the outing, and there's one away.
The first baseman, Creighton Wilkie.
A strikeout of Lacina brings Wilkie to the plate. First pitch drops down for ball 1 as the countdown to midnight is officially on. Not the New Year's version, just the middle of May. 59 minutes and counting. 1-1. Inside corner. Down on strikes this time is Wilkie. They threw it down to first even though they didn't need to. The home plate umpire called it out on a catch. 2 up, 2 down, 2 strikeouts.
The second baseman, Zach Fincham.
Zach Fincham to the plate now. Base is clear and 2 outs. First pitch, a fastball at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. The 0-1 lofted down the right field line softly, but will drift into foul territory. Check swing, drops it down the first base line, but it'll drift foul. Elefante pounced on it. Real 2-pitch missed, though. A ball and 2 strikes. This has turned into a good back-and-forth duel between Halbone and Torres. The problem is it was already 6-0 before Halbone came into the ball game. One, 2, bounced across home plate. Fincham 0 for 3. One of 3 hitters in the Tusculum order tonight not to get a base hit. They have 9 of them total. Players and hits. Down the line. Right field, Beinlich just across the foul line makes the grab to end the inning. So another good outing for Kyle Halbone in the works. Belmont Abbey needs to find runs, though. We've played 6 here in Columbus. It's 7-0, Tusculum in front, 9 outs away from moving on. The outs starting to dwindle for Belmont Abbey left in their season if they cannot find some offense. They need 7 runs. Need a long pass on an extra point. Straight up the elevator chute. Behind home plate, and that ball is actually going to drift into the stands. Look out. Guy standing there at the top of the stands. That ball was close. That's not what we need tonight. Right on the evening is 1 for 2. As this ball's hit to the shortstop, Tolentino, who has been a vacuum over there tonight, throws him out. Has a good enough arm that he can field that. Wait, and then let it go. There's one down.
The catcher, Kevin Elefante.
Kevin Elefante stares at a breaking ball. Popped straight up, but this time to left field. Shortstop Tolentino nearly lost that ball the way he caught it. He ducked his head out of the way at the last second as if he didn't see it clearly, but he made the catch anyway. And Torres quickly has 2 outs here in the top of the 7th.
The second baseman, Matt McGarry.
Matt McGarry is the batter. That'll go out of play. The 1-1. Line drive, and that's going to get back through. McGarry squared that one up. Got it into center field for a base knock. 5th hit of the night for the Crusaders. The first from McGarry, and it'll bring up Qualwasser.
The center fielder, Connor Qualwasser.
He says he's not really sure what's so difficult about facing Torres. He's 2 for 2. He can't figure out why the rest of the guys can't get hits. This time he popped it up, though. Right side, will there be enough room? Almost overran it, did Wilkie, but he made the grab. 7 shutout innings for the Southeast Region Pitcher of the Year. He has that honor for a reason. It's time to stretch here at the ballpark. 7-0, Tusculum leads Belmont Abbey. Elimination game here at the NCAA Southeast Regional on Cougar Sports TV. There you go. Jim Toll leads things off here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Kyle Halbone continues to throw. Toll 1 for 2, a couple of runs scored, a walk, an RBI, a solo home run, and a foul ball. Oh, that one actually found its way into the seats. Those don't happen very often. Found that little sliver of area on the outside of the roof and landed up there in the top row. Chopped to first, knocked down by the first baseman Yoder. He's going to pick it up before we have a collision over there.
The third baseman, John Tupileski.
Topileski into the batter's box with one down. Bottom of the 7th inning, and how fortunes have changed for a pair of teams in this regional. Pitches down low. 2 teams out of 4 entered this day without a loss. One of those has already gone home with 2 losses. If Belmont Abbey can't find 7 more runs in the 8th and 9th inning, they will join Columbus State and Catawba in the groups that are done. Stung to center field. Kwalwasser right in his tracks.
The shortstop, Giovanni Tolentino.
Number 9 man, Giovanni Tolentino, the batter, or Gio, as the people in the stands keep yelling. Fastball outside from Halbone. One 0 pitch finds the outside corner for a strike. Tolentino 0-3. As he pops it again over our right shoulder. Halbone trying to put another 0 on the board. The only run that scored against him so far in this outing was after he allowed a runner to reach on a wild pitch with a strikeout. So it won't go as an unearned run because he is the one that uncorked the wild pitch. But he gave up a double right after that, and the runner scored from first. Other than that, spotless. Only 1 hit for the 2nd straight outing. Tolentino barely got a piece of that to fight it off. Halbone threw 60 pitches 2 days ago, and he has now thrown, this will be number 45 here tonight. He was not a one-inning guy anyway, based on his numbers. But this seems like a little bit more than usual likely. Two-two. We'll have to do it again. You have to admire the dedication of the orchestra we have. The fans are not going along with it. We're going to need the fan participation to match the playing of our band. Two balls and two strikes. Tolentino awaits the pitch from Halbone. On a line, one hopper. McGarry gave ground, throws on to first, and Halbone puts another 0 on the board. He's done his job. He's kept the Tusculum offense at bay over 4 innings of work. They've got to find a way to scratch some runs across here, and they've only got 6 outs with which to work. To the 8th we go here on Cougar Sports TV. Nick Beinlich to lead things off for Belmont Abbey as he tries to drop down a bunt. Beinlich swings through the high fastball. Torres is across the 100 pitch mark now. He's thrown 107 after that last one. Fastball high. Just 5 hits scattered by the left-hander. Beinlich 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Now 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. That slider was nasty. And Beinlich down on strikes, the 8th of the day for Torres.
The designated hitter, Caden Kraus.
Kraus to the plate. He's 0 for 2. He drew a walk his last time up. Fouls the first one away. There have been a lot of foul balls people have had to chase off to that first base side here in this ball game. In the air, straightaway center field, not deep. Starting back on it and coming in now is Wesley. It hung in the air long enough for him to get there. 2 down.
The shortstop, Colin Rosenbaum.
If this is the end of the road for Belmont Abbey, it's not a team with a ton of seniors when you look up and down the roster. Fastball in there for a strike to Rosenbaum. Qualwasser, the center fielder, is a senior. Lorenzo Wright out in left field is a senior. As Rosenbaum tries the right field line, Wilkie going right at the corner of that fence area. Ran out of real estate. Other than that, none of the other position players in the starting lineup are seniors. Kyle Halbone is. And if this is the way his college career comes to an end, this is quite a back-to-back relief appearance outing for him, paired with the one on Thursday night. Halbone's thrown 3 2/3 here as this ball's going to find its way through the middle. Rosenbaum has his second hit of the ball game. So Rosenbaum and Qualwasser have combined for 4 of the 6 Belmont Abbey hits tonight.
The third baseman, Nick Nunziato.
Nick Nunziato, the batter. Nunziato's had a rough night. He struck out 3 more times in this ball game. Facing a tough left-hander, though. Two down in the inning, Rosenbaum at first. Fastball outside, 3-0. Mount Olive awaiting the winner of this one. Be interesting to see where the Trojans go pitching-wise tomorrow. It was funny listening to them in the post-game press conference, which you can go back and watch yourself on the CSUCougars.com Baseball Southeast Regional Tournament page. You go watch the Mount Olive post-game presser, and Brighton Hudson, the starting pitcher who went the distance, was talking after the game. And he was talking about his performance as the 3-1 pitch is about to be on its way. That ball's hammered to straightaway center field. Wesley on his horse. He's not going to get there. It's going to bounce up against the 403 mark in center field. The relay coming to the plate. The throw is off the line, and Belmont Abbey has scored. Add a rare earned run to Placido Torres's season total. He'd only given up 8 all year, and there was number 9. So, folks, you've witnessed history.
The first baseman, Thomas Yoder.
So to keep on that train, he was talking about his performance in the game against Columbus State, and he was saying that his roommate, which he left unnamed, had told him before the game that he needed to go all 9 innings today so that he could throw the game tomorrow. At which point head coach Carl Lancaster turned to him and said, "Who is that? Because I haven't decided on who's throwing." To say they were in good spirits was an understatement. But we'll see where the Trojans and Carl Lancaster choose to go as they try to continue their run through the losers bracket. They got beat on the very first day by Lander and had the longest path back. Pitch in there for a strike to Thomas Yoder. 7-1 the score now after that double by Nunziato. He got all of that ball, and if he picks any other part of the ballpark other than dead center field, he's touching 2 more bases. The 0-1, back-to-back sliders, both of them nasty, both of them for strikes. So Mount Olive awaits the winner of this one. If it's Belmont Abbey, it'll be their 4th game of this regional. If it's Tusculum, it'll only be their 3rd. they're in a little bit better spot than most teams are coming into tomorrow's games. Breaking ball in the dirt, the appeal down to first. Brad Newton says that he did not go. Yoder is 0 for 2 with a walk. His other 2 at-bats were strikeouts. Slider that time dropped beneath the knees, evens it up 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mention the post-game press conferences. Those of you from Tusculum and Belmont Abbey can catch yours later tonight. They'll be posted shortly after the conclusion of the ball game at csucougars.com. Two-two pitch. High fastball. Yoder got it, but he found it back. Not many participants on the charge. There was a horse race today, though. No Triple Crown repeat. That fastball right over the heart of the plate, and Yoder knew it. Strikeout number 9 for Placido Torres, who finally has proven to be somewhat human. He's given up a run, but his team still leads it 7-1 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning here in Columbus, Georgia. One more swing of the bats for Tusculum before they will go for the victory. They lead at 7-1 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Jeremy Glore set to lead this one off. He will pinch hit in place of J.J. Wesley. As the first ball taken down low in the dirt. Glore, the junior from Stone Mountain, Georgia, and Georgia Perimeter College. He's not too far from his hometown right now. He came on and pinch ran in Tusculum's first game back on Thursday against USC Aiken. He takes a strike there. New pitcher into the ball game as well for Belmont Abbey. It is Ross Garrett, who has already thrown in this tournament. He's actually already thrown today. He threw 44 pitches earlier. So Chris Anderson choosing to run him back out there. He gave up 3 runs in 2 1/3 innings. That was against Lander in the 11-4 loss. 44 pitches, he threw 30 of them for strikes. The 2-1. Drops outside. 3 balls and a strike. Means J.J. Wesley's night is done. He is 2 for 4. Couple of runs scored. So good production out of the leadoff spot. 5th pitch misses. It's a 5-pitch walk for Glore. And this may be a quick outing because Chris Anderson's out of the dugout. Not quite sure what Chris Anderson's talking to him about because he pointed up at the sky over the third base dugout. But it was a one-sided conversation, to say the least.
The left fielder, Dante Key.
Dante Key, the batter. He has a hit in 4 trips. He had an RBI double his last time. Hit a ball deep to left center field with Wesley on the move. First one from Ross Garrett. Well outside. Garrett wears the pant legs all the way up around the knees. He's got the stirrups on. The White Sox underneath. Red stirrups with the stripes across them. He has the old school look. Pumps in a strike, evens the count up at 1-1. He takes a big cut there, swings through it. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Nobody down here in the 8th. Tusculum just gave up its first run in the top half of this inning. Cut their lead from 7-0 to 7-1. But they need just 3 outs to keep their season alive. And Belmont Abbey will become the 3rd team eliminated if they can't find 6 runs in the 9th. Key spoils a good pitch there. Hits it over to the Blackman Tennis Center. Blackman Tennis Center not going to be the tennis home of the Columbus State program any longer. It's a brand new, immaculate set of courts that's being built just down the road here from campus. A lot of facility upgrades going on around the Columbus State University department as Key down on strikes for the first down of the inning.
The right fielder, Kevin Victoriano.
Victoriano strides to the plate now. New tennis courts to be opened up, though, at the Cooper Creek Park, about a mile or 2 down the road. Of course, Burger King Stadium, this is the first year that it's been Burger King Stadium. It used to be Cougar Stadium. Burger King attached its name to it, though, after they paid for the massive renovations that have been taking place here in the last 12 months. It includes that new scoreboard you can see at times out there in right field with a video portion on it. It includes the chairback seating that all the fans this week have enjoyed. It didn't come with the lightning and rain. That was free. The 0-2 to Victoriano. He hits that in the air to left. Ballpark big enough for it, though. Lorenzo Wright moves to his right. And he'll have it for the second out of the inning.
The designated hitter, Nick Lucina.
Nick Lucina to the plate now. Ball drops in the dirt. Elefante Done a fine job behind the plate here in both the games they've played today. Hit column relatively close on the scoreboard. This one's starting to mimic a little bit what the game prior to it looked like. That'll sting for a little bit. It caught the front leg, it looked like, of Lucina on the foul ball. Columbus State fell to Mount Olive 7-2 in the game just prior to this one, and it happened in similar fashion. Columbus State scored early on a home run in the first inning, but Mount Olive answered with one in the second on a solo home run. Then they had a 5-run inning like Tusculum did. Theirs came in the third, though, and that was really all she wrote in the ballgame. Columbus State continued to get hits and kind of chip away, but never were able to get runs to come across the board and lost 7-2. It's similar to what Belmont Abbey's doing right now. They've gotten a decent amount of hits considering the opposition on the mound. They just haven't been able to string any of them together, and he hasn't given up very many free base runners. That's the other key. Lucina, one of 3 Pioneers with a multi-hit game going. He has 2 hits, as does Victoriano and Wesley, who is now out of the game. In the dirt, swing and a miss, and they're just going to pick it up and tag out Lucina. That should be the 3rd out of the inning. The player's not sure of it. Now they'll drop the baseball. 3 outs, and it sends us to the 9th. Belmont Abbey needs 6 runs. Tusculum needs 3 outs. 9th inning of play coming up from Burger King Stadium after this here on Cougar Sports TV. Six, 7, and 8 due up against Placido Torres here in the 9th. Belmont Abbey needs 6 runs. Couple of defensive changes for Tusculum. The pinch hitter Glore stayed in the ball game. He's going to play center field. Also a new right fielder in for Victoriano, Tanner Maloof, senior out of Winder, Georgia, from Norcross High School. They play good football there, I believe. 1 ball, 1 strike. Torres, they're 2-1. Starting to creep up in the territory of the Mount Olive pitchers as far as the pitch count goes. This is 129 right here, and it's in for a strike. He came in with a lot of fanfare, people wanting to see what he looked like after you saw the numbers coming into the night. 10-0, .65 ERA, 150 strikeouts, and he has lived up to it and then some. There is double-digit strikeouts now. That is 10 for the left-hander, and Tusculum 2 outs away.
Pinch hitting for Belmont Abbey, number 21, Weston Clark.
That'll bring up Weston Clark. Chris Anderson sending up his senior to pinch hit, and what will probably be his final collegiate game. Clark making his first appearance here in the Southeast Regional. Pops that ball out of play down the right side. A run on 7 hits for Belmont Abbey. They got the run on Nick Nunziato's RBI double to the wall in center field. That's a nasty breaking ball. Hits the inside corner. It's 0-2. Swing and a miss. Torres gets another one. That is 11 strikeouts now. And Tusculum needs just one more out.
Pinch hitting for Belmont Abbey, number 11, Levi Wright.
Levi Wright, the brother of Lorenzo Wright, the redshirt senior, playing in his final game. Goes up hacking, takes a big hack, comes up empty on it as Torres goes for the complete game. Second pitch, drops on the outside corner. No balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Torres puts an exclamation point on his night with 3 strikeouts in the 9th inning. And he improves to 11-0 on the season. And he sends Tusculum into the next round where they will take on Mount Olive. That'll wrap things up for you here from the Southeast Regional on this Saturday night. 4 games in the books, 3 more coming your way tomorrow. It starts at 12 with USC Aiken and Lander right here on Cougar Sports TV. Your final score for the nightcap, Tusculum 7, Belmont Abbey 1. For everybody here at Cougar Sports TV, this is Stephen Williams saying so long from Columbus, Georgia.